DBJ here on another rant. I gotta go off on another rant. Alright, this one is a challenge to everybody to let me know, pick 3 characters in Lord of the Rings and tell me what their character classes and levels would be in Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I'm going to follow this up by saying that I really don't care. And what I mean by that is, not that I don't want to know your opinions, but when I say I don't care, I mean it doesn't matter. When I see Lord of the Rings, I don't see character levels. I don't see hit points, feats, intelligence ratings, movement ratings, none of that. When I see Lord of the Rings, I'm seeing that with great actors, awesome music, set pieces and backgrounds that's just, it's like I own the movies, and when they come on TV, I watch them. How geeky is that, dude? I put them on in the background when I'm cleaning the house or trying not, or half cleaning, half watching the TV. And I'm like, I'm already seeing this. Why am I stopping to see this car wreck? I've seen this before. I'm busy rubbernecking and gawking at this thing. And the reason why I say what levels they are is because it shouldn't matter. Is Aragorn 3rd level? 5th level? Is he a ranger? Yeah. What level is he? Doesn't matter. Because myself as a game master, lifelong game master, storyteller, and now brand new flame tender, I want to tell a story that is that engaging. And the level of the characters, their abilities, what they can do should never matter. I don't want my players ever to feel like they have to feat stack to be considered that heroic. They will be that heroic in a game that I run. The players will feel that they are that way. And there will be challenges. You want to have challenges. You want to have danger. You want to feel like you are, there is something worth fighting for. But at the same time, if your players don't feel like they're special in some kind of way, they're going to gravitate towards other things to get their fulfillment. And that other thing may be min-maxing. That other thing may be tuning out of the game. That other thing may be trying to derail your game and go in a completely different direction. You know, these are telltale signs of not being able to give your players what they want. And sometimes not what they want, what they need. Sometimes what a player wants is a much more powerful magic item to completely fill out his, paladin. I want that Holy Avenger that's, flaming and smiting and whatever. No, what you may want is to be the center of attention. Okay, so, I want to make the most sneaky thief in the world, so I'm picking I'm feat stacking these 6 feats just to make my thief the sneakiest thief in the world. Well, is that what you want, or do you want your character to have a reputation as the sneakiest thief in the world, and for people to be afraid of them because they are the sneakiest thief in the world, even though they're 4th level? But maybe their reputation precedes them, and there's a measure of intimidation when he comes into the Thieves Guild. And they're like, oh my God, that's the thief that he snuck into the blah, 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 blah. And no one's ever been able to steal the gem of blah, 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 blah. Well, you can add that to any character. 4th level, 18th level, it doesn't matter. Those things should not matter. It should just be how you describe things, how you let the characters engage in battle. Sometimes it can just be attitude. Some people gloat over others when they fail. There's some game masters like, oops, you messed up, ha, 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 and then you start to belittle people. It could be unconscious, but those are little things you want to make sure that your players, even when they fail, that they feel special. There was, what's the scene in Lord of the Rings when Aragorn's quote-unquote character failed forward. He's fighting the orc on the warg, the werewolf that they had. He knocks him off. His foot gets caught. They go off the cliff, and they think he disappears and falls into the water. Everyone's afraid of what happened to him. They're panicked, and what happens? He comes through the doors all soaking wet, and he's still alive. And it was a big dramatic build-up. Everyone's wondering what happened to him. So maybe in the game, maybe the game master's like, "Oh, damn, I think he died." Well, we'll bring him back. And so the other players are concerned. The king is afraid that he's dead. They're going to mourn him forever, and blah 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 blah. And then when he returns, there's a big uproar. Hey, we're friends forever, and things like, it was a lot of drama. Probably not a single die roll made, except maybe the dungeon master fudging a couple dice because, well, Aragorn is in his story is soon to be king or something like that. So what level are they? Doesn't really matter. The lowest level characters can be the greatest. I'll admit, I don't think want my opinion? I don't think there's a character in the Lord of the Rings movies that's probably above 5th level. I'll go 7th to appease some people, but I doubt it. Not very much. Not very much above that, if any. So that's my opinion. Sure, I challenge you guys to do a couple of little one-line comments to see what you say. Aragorn, 7th level ranger, Gimli, 5th level fighter, dwarf, something like that. They just come up with some crazy stuff. I don't care what it is. Just to have some fun. But specifically what I'm trying to make a point and make my rant is that it's all about story. It doesn't matter what level you are. You can tell a great story with minimal elements in it, and it's just extremely compelling. And I will say that the Within the Ring of Fire live play, parts 1, 2, and 3 really had me enthralled. Listening to a story, a live game where the characters basically had nothing. They were beaten and tortured, basically, physically and psychologically. Had to do a lot of demeaning things and horrific things. Hurt, embarrassed, weak, starving, and I don't know, it was one of the best live play games I've ever seen. So I got to add that in there. So as always, man, I always have to sign off as being creative, don't destroy. And when I say be creative, be a creator. Create stories that are so compelling that it doesn't matter what the power level of the characters are. It matters about the story. It matters that those characters matter to your story. And, make them feel good. Give them what they need. Not what they want, but give them what they need. Look a little deeper. Find out, hey, does this guy want to be the center of attention? Okay, I'll make him the center of attention a couple times. Does this person want to be feared? All right, I'll give it to him. Does this person want to be very diplomatic and solve diplomatic situations? Okay, maybe they don't want to go into war. Maybe they want to be able to solve this with words or something. So, throw them a bone. Let them feel good. Yeah, that's the whole idea to do that. The players want to be there. And, of course, you don't give them this to the players all the time. So, like I said, create. Don't destroy. I'm out.